When Hypixel Skyblock first came out 3 years ago, I was pretty active and quite the entrepreneur. I was constantly looking for ways to earn long-term money, and during the early days I managed to collect quite a stash. From being the first in the world to craft this bow and armor set, to having elite level items, here are my tales from early Skyblock. First up, I'll be talking about how I was the first in the world to craft the Magma armor set, and why it made me quit Hypixel Skyblock. Just for some context, when Skyblock first came out, most people were raving on about Emerald armor, as it was popular belief that it was the best in the game. Although it took many hours of AFK mini grinding, and there was little that could be done to speed up the process of getting the armor.
But the Emerald armor is a very, very troublesome armor to actually get. You have to collect 100,000 emeralds to be able to craft this armor set, and it's madness. It's crazy.
I personally had no interest in waiting weeks, potentially months, for minions to generate me my materials, so I took a look at the collections and found the Magma armor. The Magma set was truly a hidden gem. The reasoning behind this is because it required significantly less materials, and in addition to that, there was a way to manually grind Magma cream. If you had Magma minions set up, you could use a looting sword on them and get Magma cream significantly faster than if you just had minions AFK. It was tedious manually killing Magma cubes, but within a few days of Skyblock launching, I'd crafted the first completed Magma armor set. But there was a catch. Without completely over-explaining it, essentially, the armor didn't work. The set bonus the armor was supposed to give was completely bugged, and the only thing I got from all my grinding was some orange-eyed armor and a solid bow. Even though the armor set was bugged, it still outclassed 99% of other players, so I at least got to flex it a bit. But shortly after all that, I took a hiatus from Hypixel Skyblock. So if I essentially quit Skyblock, where is the armor now? Well, around a year ago, someone named Ben Clark messaged me asking if I was interested in selling my Magma armor. He explained that he was a collector of all things Skyblock and had been scouting for #1 crafts. A first craft refers to the first time an item is crafted in Hypixel Skyblock history. Since the Magma armor and bow were a thing upon Skyblock release, the odds of a player still being active who crafted the original were really low. And that's where I come along. I'm a nerd who's been playing Hypixel off and on for 10 years, so when Ben saw me log in, he shot me a message. And I don't have screenshots of our conversation, but I remember being immensely hesitant to give away something like a first craft. I enjoy collecting things, and I was aware of the potential worth of a first craft from week 1 of the game coming out. I didn't care for the worth of the set, I just thought it was cool to have. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that Ben and his collector co-op likely value the armor much more than me, so I donated it to them for 0 coins. Luckily, he was actually a really cool dude, and he has a sign up on the island saying I donated it, and even gave me and a friend some exotic armor. So up next in my super amazingly epic collection is a singular piece of lapis. To explain why it's worth anything, you first have to know what a Cakesoul is. Cakesouls are essentially a way to prove you met someone on Skyblock. When you right click a player with a Cakesoul, their name is now etched onto the item. They used to be tradable, and people try to collect as many notable Cakesouls as possible. But in the year 2023, you cannot trade them to other players, so they're not actually worth anything at all. So what is so notable about this Cakesoul? Well, it's actually impossible to obtain the name on this Cakesoul, the name being Lapis, which I personally thought was funny because the Cakesoul I obtained it on is a piece of lapis. At this point, you're probably wondering, how is a Cakesoul impossible to obtain? All you have to do is find the player named Lapis, click on them, and then boom, you have it. Well, that's why it's currently impossible to get this Cakesoul. The player named Lapis has never logged on a Hypixel and likely never will. So how did I get the Cakesoul? Well, the method I used to obtain it is actually very strange and requires 30,000 subs on YouTube or someone who's being charitable, which is where the YouTuber Original Ace comes in.
Join my Discord server and enter my giveaway where the 5 winners can choose their own custom username and I will nick for them so they can capture one of these broken Cakesouls.
So yeah, I won the giveaway and he let me pick out a nickname to get a Cakesoul on. But it's actually not that simple, because YouTube ranks can only nick as usernames that have never logged on Hypixel, and if another YouTuber had a nickname equipped, it wouldn't let Ace use that username. I pondered for quite some time, looking through what names hadn't joined Hypixel and were already existing YouTuber nicks and settled on Lapis. But massive props to Ace for hosting the giveaway and being super chill. He actually helped me pick out a username and got his own Cakesoul with the name Lapis on it as well. Alrighty, let's do a quick lightning round for the last bit of my collection. First up, we have a Cakesoul, which looks like I claimed it on myself, which is only possible with YouTube rank and nicknaming just like the Lapis Cakesoul, but that doesn't explain it because you cannot nick as an MP++. This is actually just my friend Budar using a Cakesoul on me. His name looks very, very similar to mine, to the point that people confuse us frequently. And to end off the video, I have 9 year 1 cakes, which sell for many, many millions to my knowledge, and I have multiple of every single crab hats from year 1 and year 2. You may be asking how I got the money for this if I didn't play Skyblock much in the early days, and essentially when Skyblock first came out, people didn't advertise auctions in the chat, and I was doing that since day 1, selling Lapis armor in the mines. We'd set up the auction for 1 coin, and there would be like 20 to 30 people that bid on it, and every time someone bid on it, it would notify everyone else, and we sold some Lapis things for above 100,000 coins when the game just first came out, which at the time was a lot. Also, in the making of this video, I found out that this armor is now considered rare, which is just fairy dyed armor, but you can't make it anymore, so that's cool, I guess. I made this video in about 2 sessions, and in between those 2 sessions, my computer literally started crashing every 5 minutes, and I just want to have this video done, so I hope you enjoyed. This is the first time I've ever used replay mod and tried doing quote-unquote like clean editing. So I'm 2 away from 500. See you guys in the next video.